Hey everybody, Jeff here from Jazzwire. Welcome to Guided Listening. So we're going to listen to some Dexter Gordon. That is never a bad thing. We're going to listen to the fantastic ballad, Darn That Dream. And this is from the Dexter album, One Flight Up. I think it was a Blue Note album, 1964. And I believe it was recorded in Paris. It's Kenny Drew on piano. It's Art Taylor on drums and Niels Orsted Pedersen on bass. And just, banging together this great sax player and this this wonderful tune, and then kind of hearing how the rhythm section in the band sort of handles the ballad with Dexter. So we're going to dig into that. Now, I have a question for you. Have you guys ever had a broken dryer? I've had a broken dryer, and I had this brilliant idea. Let me go to YouTube, and so I put in like the make of the dryer and what was happening. I put it in, and it's like there's some dude telling you how to fix the dryer, and it wasn't that hard, so I did it, and my dryer works. Fantastic. So here's the thing. Jazz lessons aren't really like that. So sure, you can go learn a cool new lick on YouTube or something, but the thing about that dryer, the dryer that guy was fixing and my dryer were the same. They don't have personalities. They don't have experiences, right? So when that one thing was broken on his dryer, same thing broken on my dryer, guess what? It works like that. So don't treat your jazz education like a broken dryer. Getting individual attention is important. Now, here's the thing. There's probably some good jazz teachers in your town or online, right? You can take online one-on-one jazz lessons. You should. That's so good. Jazzwire is different. Inside Jazzwire, we don't do personal private lessons. What we do is show each other our work. That's how you get good, is when you show your work, right? So people inside Jazzwire are playing for each other. And we're not doing that in real time. We're doing it with recordings we make on our smartphone or whatever else. We post those, and then the rest of the faculty, and all of your colleagues get to hear what you've been working on. Sounds scary a little bit, right? But this is like music school. So I built Jazzwire to feel like the University of North Texas, which is where I went. So this experience of sharing what you're doing and getting personalized input from me, from the faculty, from all of your friends, that's how it worked for me at university. It wasn't like fixing a dryer. Don't send your kid to a school where they're going to get treated like a broken dryer. Not a good school. So take the free trial. It is so much deeper, so much more powerful, and so much less expensive than what you've been doing. So I hope I'll see you inside Jazzwire and the 30-day free trial this week. Let's listen to some Dexter. Let's jump into this. And playing a ballad is such a wonderful, beautiful, fraught, terrifying, so many ways to do it wrong thing. These guys don't do too much wrong, but let's jump into it. Here we go. Dexter Gordon, Darn That Dream. All right, so the trio starts out, and it's kind of like a 3-chord, 6-chord, 2-chord. So a very traditional stock intro. Listen to something about the way Dexter plays. He repeats the long notes. Wah, da, da, da. Instead of one note, which is written on the music, he played it 4 times. Twice there. Twice there. 3 times there. 3 times there. Twice there. Twice there. With a bend. Wah, da, da, 3 times. You get it. It's very interesting. It's a Dexter-ism, and other sax players and horn players do this too. And I do it, and I didn't consciously decide I was going to do it. I think I listened to Dexter and Sonny and Train, and that's how they do it. Interesting. It is all the time when you get used to it. Ooh, da, da. All the time. Very interesting. Ooh, da, 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 do. Right, so it's sort of this chanting, talking. It's like it's cool, right? And now that you're hearing it, it's like, geez, it's overdone, but it's not. It sounds so natural. You never noticed it before, did you? So let's listen to the rhythm section. Tons of restraint, right? So Niels is playing basically half notes. 2, 3, 4, 1. And brushes, hi-hat, and 2 and 4. So this is a 2 feel. Okay, so Niels is now playing 4 notes per measure. So he's playing in a 4 feel, but it doesn't feel like it's swinging, right? So he's kind of in between 2 and 4. He's given it more motion behind Dexter's solo. It feels like we've gone somewhere, but he hasn't changed the feel, or Art sure hasn't gone with him. That tone, jeez. Classic lick he played there twice. Crimea River, Babi-yada, Babi-yada. Following the chords, cool moment. Little bluesy inflection there. And a quote, it started out sounding like Nightingale sang in Berkeley Square, but then it ended up as Polka Dots and Moonbeams, I think. Cool quote. So Dexter does that bending thing. It's like he's re-articulating the note, but instead of doing it with his tongue, he'll do it with a strong bend. And in his solo, he's doing those repeated note things too. Do-da, boo-ya, da-ya. So that's part of his style, whether it's playing a written melody or playing his own solo. So there's a little more motion now behind Kenny's solo. The quarter notes are a little more insistent, and we're hearing Art digging in to the downbeats, the 4 quarter notes a little bit more. So it's a lot different than where we started, yet it's still this restrained ballad feel. Big boy level. Listen to Kenny's rhythmic choices. He's playing over the time. You couldn't write that out with 8th notes or 16th notes or 30 seconds. He's, kind of playing over and around the time more than Dexter was. More flurries, but he's not divorced from the time. He's always landing with it really perfectly. So it's a cool distinction between Dexter's rhythmic choices and Kenny's. Repeated notes. So Dexter came in at the bridge to make this a little shorter. So he came in quoting the melody, but he's soloing again here. Check out Dexter's vibrato, the end of his notes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Vibrato. add a turnaround here. Just one time. Vibrato, listen to that. Man, pretty much everything you want to know about saxophone playing in up to and including that era, like, geez. So the vibrato, let's talk about that for a second. So vibrato on the saxophone is pitch. So it's not volume. We're not getting louder and softer. We're actually getting flat and back up to the pitch. So it's actually pitch modulation. We do it with our jaw, not with our air. Da, ya, 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 ya. You literally move your jaw up and down. Takes pressure off the reed, and that brings the pitch down. So classical musicians use vibrato, right? So there's on flute, technically flute is tremolo. It's not pitch, it's volume going up and down. On piano, piano's a terrible instrument because you can't do vibrato or tremolo. So this is a subpar instrument right here. On guitar, we would do it with pitch by bending the string. So every instrument on trombone with the slide, it's pitch. Cool. So how Dexter does it, if you noticed, he'll hit a note, he'll hold it, and then add the vibrato. So he doesn't add the vibrato right away like a classical string or flute player would do, or a classical saxophone player for that matter. So he holds the note and then adds vibrato. And now sometimes it's a little faster, it's a little slower, but that's a whole study, the mechanics of how to do vibrato correctly and do it so you don't sound out of tune because you're literally going flat. That's the definition of vibrato. So yeah, it's fascinating, but Dexter has this wonderful vibrato. So if you're thinking about vibrato, listen really hard to how Dexter does it. And I think most sax players use that approach. Here's the thing. A lot of sax players don't use vibrato. It's a more austere sound, a more modern sound to kind of not play vibrato. So listen to Coltrane when he's playing. And Coltrane was certainly coming out of Dexter. He heard Dexter, he knew Dexter, he listened to Dexter. So listen to how his vibrato is similar, but maybe how it's different. Listen to Michael Brecker. He used vibrato. So, generation later than that. So yeah, it's very interesting. But, as a sax player or as a jazz musician, you can't get around Dexter Gordon. So what he did just sounded so fantastic. And of course, that sound. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, I hope that was interesting. There are lots of really cool things, including the way Dexter phrases melodies with those repeated notes, 2, 3, sometimes 4 notes, kind of chanting it. And I mentioned Coltrane. Coltrane does that all the time when we hear him play. And it's impossible to be a saxophone player between the ages of 15 and 70 and not be influenced by Dexter and or Coltrane. So we've heard thousands of hours of that vibrato, of that approach to playing a ballad. And we may have developed our own thing. We may have decided to include or exclude elements of different players playing. I certainly have. But, so many of us have the approach that we heard there. So it's kind of cool to talk about out loud and for you as listeners to notice that approach. And now when you listen to other players, when you listen to Clifford Brown play a ballad, when you listen to Mark Murphy sing a ballad, how are they approaching it, similar or different? All right. Well, I hope you don't have a broken dryer. If you do, YouTube, check it out. If you want to learn how to play jazz, Jazzwire, check it out. See you inside. Have a great week, everybody.